Good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to Maximus the Fourth. Today, we're going to be taking a very honest look at Pepsi Lime here that came out in the summertime of this year of 2024. This is going to be a very special video. My goal is to walk you guys through the entire story of Pepsi Lime as a whole, and in order to do that, we're going to have to go all the way back to 2001 in the very humble beginnings when a little variation of Pepsi Lime had first come out in Mexico that was called Pepsi Limon. There's a heck of a lot more to know about the whole story about Pepsi Lime than you might think. And today, I'm hoping to really broaden the spectrum and give you guys the full story of Pepsi Lime as a whole before opening this thing and doing a very honest review. Several months back in the summer, I did do a small review on this next to Pepsi Peach because they both came out alongside of each other. But this is going to be the all-out edition of where I really dig hard on this. So that said, if you want to learn about the history of Pepsi Lime, you've clicked on the right video. Fasten your seatbelts, sit back, get your ham sandwich and chips out, hit that full screen button, and enjoy the show. Let's go. So the very first trace of any Pepsi Lime version that ever came out goes all the way back to 2001, where Pepsi Limon, or in the Spanish pronunciation, Pepsi Limon, was first released in 2001 in Mexico. Take a look at this shot.
Florecía el nuevo milenio y mediados del 2001, la empresa PepsiCola apuntaba a su nuevo éxito, Pepsi Limón, que parecía ser agradable al gusto de los mexicanos. Incluso fueron obsequiados.
That is probably the rarest variation of any Pepsi Lime version out there. And to find one of those is an insane, very large, broad spectrum of a relic. Something that DJ Glowing Ice would just destroy anybody to have in his hands. Like, good freaking luck finding one of those. And if you really want to take a deep look, there's this 30-second commercial of Pepsi Limon that came out all the way back in 2001. And I don't want to bore you guys to death, but I showed you a little piece of that commercial. You definitely get the point there. And then there was this other really crazy Spanish-speaking commercial, oddball variation of Pepsi Lime called Pepsi Twistao. And I honestly could not tell you what year that this commercial had come out with. The other one was 2001. I would guess, shoot, so stumped here, maybe 2006 or 7, maybe 2002 or 3. I have no freaking idea, but just take a look at this clip.
Irmão, sabe o que eu queria? Pepsi Twistão. Tem muito limão. Ah, isso eu também. Vamos chamar o Júnior. Pô, cara, tu acredita que não sei assobiar? Trouxa.
And that commercial was reminiscent to these big, two freaking huge lime monsters reminiscing Godzilla. And that is about as far back as I can dig to take a look at what happened before the States first released Pepsi Lime. And then, in 2005, Pepsi Lime was first released to compete with Coca-Cola's Lime Coke. This is a bottle and a can, both released from the States. And then, 2 years later, in 2007, it was presumptuously discontinued. And then, Pepsi Limon came out once again in 2015, and while it's unknown if this version of Pepsi Lime was actually released in the States, what I can tell you is this time, there were some YouTubers that were actually getting their hands on this. And rather they traveled to Mexico or wherever you could find a freaking Pepsi Lemon, or if there's exotic pop shops that was buying this stuff overseas, they were getting their hands on it. And this version of Pepsi Lemon, or Pepsi Lime, contained 2% lime juice, and as you can see right there, the tagline is lime flavored cola with other natural flavors. And then in 2019, Pepsi Lime came back once again in the States, and this version contained 1% juice. Now, if you take a look at the original Pepsi Lime, it contained no juice. So based on those three things, it appears to be that there's been at least 3 different versions of Pepsi Lime thus far. We don't know what the ingredients look like in Tostao, and yeah. In this run of Pepsi Lime in the States of 2019 was released alongside both Pepsi Berry and Pepsi Mango, and all 3 of those, including this one, lasted only in the summertime of 2019, and then it was discontinued. And then, in 2024, this year, in the summer, Pepsi Lime came out once again, and the original plans were for Pepsi to release Pepsi Peach and Pepsi Watermelon, and both these flavors were supposed to be paired to complement barbecue foods, but as fate would have it, Pepsi Watermelon was canceled, and it was replaced with Pepsi Lime. And based on the ingredients of the old Pepsi Lime and the new one, they are different. Even a little bit different. All 3 of these are different. But for more information on that, you can check out my video where I did an ingredient scan of the original Pepsi Lime in this one, which is titled, "What is the actual difference of Pepsi Lime from 2005 and Pepsi Lime from 2024. Now that I have finished walking you guys through this very complicated story of Pepsi Lime, it is time to open this thing, and I'm going to give you guys the absolute most honest taste test that I could come up with. Let's go. Does this actually taste like there's lime in it? You know, I've tried this before. This version. This version. This version. And when I first tried this version, I kind of thought that it didn't really taste like there was lime in it. But this time, there is an ever so faint Pepsi Lime. Like if you took a regular can of Pepsi and you drank it side by side with this, you might be able to tell there's a slight difference because Pepsi just plain, I mean, we all know what that tastes like. But this is kind of hitting just a little bit different. Not very much. Like, when you sip it, it has the normal sweet taste of Pepsi, but then all of a sudden, really quickly after, there's a ever so slight tang to it that's reminiscent of lime. But it's not super powerful. I would probably say that it's about 25% lime. What I can tell you is after eating fried chicken months back in the summertime while reviewing this, it definitely brought the tanginess out much more. But yeah, I mean, if you sit and you focus enough, then yeah, you can taste the lime, but it's not super powerful. That's all I can tell you. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not making stuff up here. I think I'm having a good run on this. I can definitely taste the lime in there. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but after further review and having past experience with this soda before, it's fair. I would give it a very solid score of 7.5 out of 10. Are you going to get that dimension of it there actually being lime in there? Yes. But it's not insanely apparent, so you better pay very close attention because it's not for the faint of heart when it comes to distinguishing flavor. And that is my very honest opinion in review on Pepsi Lime here in 2024. Thank you guys for watching. I got 3 videos that I need to promote to 1,000 views. The first one is Diet Coke 2 liter no burp challenge, attempt number 2. Second one is Massive Church Breakfast, a mukbang that I took on 4 or 5 months ago. And then the third one is going to be Cherry Coke 2 liter chug. I'll make sure to leave all 3 of those links down in the description of this video. And for all other extras and even ways to help support this channel, it's all going to be listed down in the description below. Maximus the Fourth here. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. God bless you.